Every powerful photo has some sort of emotional reaction, whether it's a mountain landscape or it's sort of a person where you see a fragment of time that tells this really big story in a single photograph. There's a pretty broad spectrum for each one of those mediums. My name is Renan Ozturk. I'm a filmmaker. I started as a landscape artist. I've also been a professional climber for a really long time. And now I just kind of blend it all the best I can to make a living and tell stories that I find meaningful. I was born in Germany and I grew up in Rhode Island in New England. I kind of discovered mountains when I was hiking with my mom above tree line in New Hampshire, and it just really made me feel alive. And I ended up chasing dreams of the high mountains after seeing photos of it. My background is mainly in science, but then when I finished college, I gave away all my belongings and hit the road as a dirtbag rock climber. It was really one of the most clean and stress-free and productive parts of my life where we weren't really having a big impact on the planet, and really it's the foundation for everything that has happened since. My first photography assignment was a National Geographic feature story. I was just pitching the story of the honey hunters in Nepal as more of a video project. And they came back and said, oh, the assignment is approved. So at that point I was like, oh man, now I gotta learn how to shoot and deliver stills on a really high and kind of stressful level. The thing that I like the most about photography and filmmaking is just bringing awareness to issues and voices to cultures that need them amplified. Not to say that they don't have their own voice, but it just doesn't speak the same language. And the language of cinema and photography is something that anyone understands. Just a single full-frame camera and the lightest weight 35mm lens out there is the way that I shoot 95% of the time. I'm a glutton for every single last piece of gear known to humanity. I'll literally risk my life to take the newest red camera to the top of Mount Everest to get one shot, even though it might fail, but to me it's worth it. If I were to give myself some tips looking back, I would say worry a little bit less about the bigger details in the next job. I would develop art and music. I've always brought sketchbooks and canvas on expeditions, and everything is done in the field. I call it a roaming perspective. It's kind of like a stitched together photo like you would do with a panoramic photo. And I'm doing that with the canvas by walking around an area, maybe a few square miles, and I'm stitching it together in my mind. So it's kind of like a wide angle view of these iconic mountain landscapes. I'm not a trained artist, it's just the style that I've done for years on expeditions.